Okay, if you're listening and if you want to play a drinking game, drink every time we say in my mouth in this episode.
I know. Can we put that blurb early in the episode?
We should put that at the very beginning of the episode because we don't talk about it for so long. So
it'll give them something to look forward to.
Yeah, so you're talking about grief and they're going to be like, when is in my mouth?
If you don't want to hear the grief stuff, get to the in my mouth.
Hey Siri, remind me to tell Leila about this crazy thing that happened yesterday.
Voice memo, Hannah. You will not believe who I saw last night.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you the epiphany I just had.
Girl, I know we just talked, but I forgot the best part of the story.
Leila, I cannot wait to tell you.
Hannah, I literally can't wait to tell you.
I can't wait to tell you.
I can't wait to tell you.
I can't wait to tell you.
Day 1 of 34.
Day 1 of 34. You know what I was thinking about?
What?
Is like, how do you feel about telling people your age? Like the world in general, your age.
God.
As an actor.
I guess, well,
as a woman and as an actor, two separate things.
I used to feel really self-conscious about it, but then just recently I'm like, wait, we're so fucking young.
Right.
Like, I'm like, we're still in the first act of our life.
Yeah. I think that I feel in life, I don't give a shit about my age. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll tell anyone how old I am. And I don't feel weird about it. But like there is something to be said about being age ambiguous where it's like, I wonder where they could place me if they had like no idea if I was 23 or 45. You know what I mean? So like naming your age, I'm always like, will that ever give like a bias of how someone would cast you? You know what I mean?
Totally.
But then again, I get auditions for like 50-year-old witch.
I was just going to say that. It's like the old
Ugly
woman in her
teen.
40s, not a model. And it's like, okay, I get it.
Actually, speaking of, after this, I need to do that self-tape.
Sorry. Bleep that.
I have to do a self-tape that the number one thing it says is have to be comfortable handling a hawk.
A falcon.
A falcon.
Very different than a hawk.
So I need to, maybe we could even do self-tapes after this really fast.
If you need to, I can help you out there.
Yeah, but it could be cool to hold a falcon.
I really see that for you this year.
I know, same. I do too. But yeah, I'm 34.
Yesterday was your birthday.
Yesterday was my birthday. Today we're licking
such a
our
good
wounds
day.
a little bit.
Absolutely.
It was such a good day. Yeah, just like bottom to top. I like have no brain cells left. Bottom to taint.
H to toe.
H2O. From like the start of the day to the end, it was just all around dreamy.
It was like, I think because we started early and we were planning on having an early night, it was like the longest day of our lives, but I loved every moment of it.
Yeah, so woke up, went to fourth for a strength class, brought Layla, then Claire, and Aaron. We all did a strength class that was pretty challenging.
It made me sore.
Yeah, very sore. And then we're like, okay, let's all, we walked down Milwaukee, got some coffees, donuts, and then walked back home. We all got ready. Then we went to, I don't know if I've even talked about this on the pod of what my plan was for my birthday.
Talk about it.
So I wanted to do something a little bit different this year, change up the energy. And Trisha, friend of the pod, she's obviously burping. I vomit. And so Trisha's an amazing dancer, and I was like, and used to do all of these classes. And I was like, Trisha, if I paid you, would you choreograph a dance for my birthday and teach a bunch of our friends? And she was like, absolutely. So picked out a song after some debate, landed on Freakum Dress by Beyoncé.
Such a good choice.
Shout out to Erin. She was helpful in that inspiration.
Yeah, that was a really good suggestion.
Really good
Erin.
suggestion. And yeah, it was like a really great mix of people, all different levels of comfortability with dance, with, I think everyone kind of came in excited, but a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
But it was just so much fun. It
Truly.
was like just so many parts about it felt so good, where obviously dancing is just fun. Also seeing all of my friends just really trying and being really
Genuinely
earnest about it, and then getting excited when they were nailing the move. Like, I could look at anyone in that room and my heart would just like swell with love, because it was just it was just so beautiful. And then like once we all would get certain things, we'd all be like high-fiving each other, and like after every round we'd all be like, yes, ha, ha. Water. We're
so
all
much
like
camaraderie,
drip sweating. It was just so truly just beautiful all around.
There's like a movie I'm trying to think of where they're training, they're like the underdogs, and every time they were like, as they were getting better, there's a part where one of the characters, maybe it is Dodgeball, where they like hop around and like go fucking crazy because they got the choreography right. Anyway, we can get back to it. I want to say it was like a cheerleader, but I don't know why. But anyway, okay, side tangent. I was just going to say, I think two things. You did such a good job going according to Priya Parker's Art of Gathering in terms of it was like really cool to see how this was like a breakthrough, meaningful experience for everyone, not just you. And to quote Jordan Stafford, you really are a curator of fun.
Oh, it's
and
so sweet.
It was cool because a lot of people were going in being like, I do not do this. This is like, this is not for me. And then by the end being like, I gotta take a dance class.
Like we're all like, we're professional dancers.
It just
now.
made everyone, it put everyone in such a childlike state.
Truly.
And it was so cool because I think it's so rare to have that nowadays.
I mean, we're all like the majority of people in that room were in their 30s. And yes, a lot of them are performers, but like that was so not the kind of performance we did. And so I have like a video of everyone. And last night when I came home and I was just absolutely crossfaded out of my mind, I was eating this like chocolate peanut butter pie that Bill had brought and just watching the movie. And I was watching each person separately and just seeing everyone's like flavor. And it was just so, who said to you, someone was like, Leila, I love how you do it, your comedic take on
I was like, I wasn't trying to be funny. I was genuinely trying to be good. I promise. My body, like watching it, I think I forget how tall I am. Like I looked so like lanky, like a newborn giraffe. like I could, it was just so funny to see like how I couldn't get my footing.
It was just so, I think everyone, like you don't watch it and see anyone doing, like everyone did a good job. Everyone
was
learned
great.
the moves. Everyone looked amazing and put their own like spice on it. But it was funny to see like how everyone's bodies work.
I know. It was so funny.
How did it feel for you? Because I know you kind of went into it being like, I don't know, I'm a little nervous in terms of like just dancing in general.
I think it was so much fun. And I also just think it's really good for your brain to learn something like that. Like
Totally.
It's working a muscle that you don't normally work, where you have to remember the steps, move your body. I just think it's like really good for you.
You can't be thinking about anything else.
Yeah, I couldn't.
You know what I mean?
wanted so badly to watch Joey dance, and I couldn't focus on him at all.
Thank God we have the video of it.
I know,
'Cause
thank God.
Joey did an amazing
Joey
job.
put some ass into the little ass roll.
I know.
I was so impressed.
Carrie was telling me that she had been watching the movie sort of over and over. And I was like, she was just saying who was funny to like look at. And she was just like, I was like, Joey's pretty iconic. And she was like, he's so straight in most of it. But then there's little moments where he's gay.
I'm like, I love it.
I know. I'm like, they're like to see like the little moments of like
Femininity.
Coming out. Or even like as like the girls, like which parts like were like a little bit more masculine and like who had what sort of energy towards different moves. It was just so fun.
It was so much fun.
And my mom, I like sent my mom and my sister like all the videos and stuff. And my mom was just so funny because she like will gas me up about anything. And she was like, Hannah, you're a natural. The way you move is just you're born to do that. Like she's like, you're the best dancer I've ever seen.
I was laughing.
In my life.
Literally, okay, first off, my mom said the same thing. She was like, you were an incredible dancer. You are so good at dance. I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm okay admitting that I am not. Everyone, as we know, all these practitioners keep telling me my hips are tight. My hips are tight. And it's like, please, girl, move your hips. I can't. And I'm trying. trying. But the other thing that I was gonna say, your body like defies gravity. Like you're so, I forgot how like limber and like like it was just so funny watching you like kind of like float in the air to like certain steps. Like, and then there was like one part where we had to like breathe kind of and hop on a foot.
One of my favorite moves.
And Hannah's like body was like nothing I'd ever seen. Like,
yeah, Carrie described mine and she was like, you're so bouncy.
You're so bouncy.
Like I'm like, it kind of is, because Drea, who was also there, Drea's pretty good.
Drea was
and,
good.
Like we were both cheerleaders, like we were cheerleaders together, where it was like it feels very much like the cheer sort of peppiness to it.
Yes,
that I bring a little bit of pep, but thanks to my girls chipped in together that got me a really, really thoughtful present, a coupon to buy dance classes. So this is going to be my new fixation. I'm going to get like so good at dancing.
I cannot wait.
What if I become like
a professional
I never
dancer?
do comedy again and I become a professional dancer?
It would be so funny. Someone walks in and goes, I'm Beyonce. You have to come with me.
It happens really fast.
It's like, Hannah, dance is changing you. And you're like,
No, it's not.
Dance chose me.
Every time you see me, I have a shorter shirt on or like baggier clothes. Because that was sort of, I did say the dress code was honey, Jessica Alba in Honey. And because her name, Jessica Alba's name, and that is Honey Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
This morning, Jordan texted me and said, Hanny Daniels.
Hanny Daniels. That's
You're
so
Hanny
funny.
Hanny Daniels.
The best part of the Honey movie is when the guy is like, you're just not coming up with the moves, honey. I need better. And then she's like, let me go on lunch break. And then she's like watching basketball players. And then she's like, huh. And starts doing the move of like kind of like dribbling under her feet and keeps dribbling back and forth. And she's
and
like,
they're like, what's that move?
yeah. And she's like, just a little something I came up with. And then she's just like doing a ball underneath, and that becomes the music video.
And it was very successful.
Very
We're like,
successful.
we don't have I guess we never said we don't have a guest today. So if you guys
Oh
are like,
my gosh, you
waiting
guys.
for us, I was like, why do we keep kind of like looking over at Shelby more often than we normally do? I was like, we don't have
Well, Shelby was there yesterday
Shelby was there
too.
with
So
us.
if you have anything you need to say, Shelby, let us know.
Yeah, anything you want to add to that?
You're really
She's
sore.
really sore. Yeah. And that is what I will say.
Everyone was dripping.
I mean, drenched in sweat, absolutely dripping, drenched. And there was a move where, you had to get down on the ground. And that was a lot of bending for this group.
It was a lot of bending.
A lot of bending after doing a strength class where we were doing heavy 90-90s.
I think Trisha did a good job of not taking it too easy on us.
I agree.
Like, she added a lot of like fun, fancy footwork.
What was the thing? Pas de bourrée.
Pas de bourrée.
Pas de bourrée.
And then also we had to, like, during the part of the song where it goes like, whoa,
Freakum dress on.
Freakum dress on. Everyone like stands like it's a volcano.
Whoa.
It was
Freakum
so
dress on.
funny. Yeah. Whoa. I just kept thinking about that.
It was so fun. Okay, so then that's not even where the nights. So then we get done dancing at like 3 p.m. And I was like, I mean, who am I kidding? But I was like, this is perfect. We'll go to long room. We'll be done by 6 p.m. We'll be ready to go. No, of course not. Got to long room and Aaron made a beautiful cake and we had lots of drinks and we were playing fun games and then time just slipped through our fingers.
It absolutely did.
Then we went to Jack's house for a little nightcap, just like a couple of us.
But
and
there's something so special about sitting in lamplight with all of your friends, seeing them drawn across a couch on the rug on a chaise lounge.
I was like halfway blacked out.
Drinking a glass of Lambrusco.
2 horny pills deep.
2 horny pills deep.
I have
Just talking about being women.
I have drank every single different kind of thing that had been offered to me.
It was so good. Jack was such a good host.
Such a good host.
Shout out to Jack.
We got good burgers at Long Room.
Oh, yes, we
Shout
did.
out to the burgers at Long Room.
Shout out to the burgers
because
and Long Room in general.
Yeah, that was really, really good. But yeah, and then, I mean, we still got home by like 11:30, 11.
It was perfect. I was in bed by 11.
And yeah, just I felt so full. I got to see so many wonderful friends and I felt super loved and it was just so good.
It was a really successful birthday.
Really successful, I think, and not to bring the mood down, but like going into yesterday, I was like, the bar is on the floor because last year for my birthday, Izzy died or began his descent.
Yes.
And it was just like, everything is going to be better than that one. But that's kind of like, and then before that, it was just, I was always performing and I was talking to my therapist about it because I think for a long time I was someone who was like, I don't like birthdays. I don't celebrate my birthday. It's just another day. And while I am not anyone who's ever going to be like, it's my birthday week and like me, let's talk about me, like birthday related, that's never going to be me. But I think I can be more fluid and being like, it's okay to say that you're special for a day or want to feel special for a day or understand. My therapist is like, no, people want to celebrate you. You don't have to like apologize on your birthday. That was her big thing on setting me free the day before my birthday after a session. She goes, I want you to have an amazing birthday tomorrow. And you're not allowed to apologize at all that day. And I don't know if I did or not.
I don't think you did. I hope you didn't. You said, sorry for punching you in the face. Just kidding. No, you did not apologize.
Good.
I feel like it's like there's this weird sort of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's this weird sort of like shame around planning things around yourself.
Totally.
But I actually think it's like such a nice excuse to have people come together and do things.
For sure.
And so it was like, yes, you were planning it and we all wanted to make you feel special, but it was like such a fun experience for everyone.
Totally.
It's just such a fun, like to go out on a beautiful sunny day and like have a drink at a great bar with your friends and like eat delicious cake. What could be freaking better?
What could be better? I think like, cause I always like growing up, my birthday always fell on like almost always like last day of school or like last week of school where it was like, everyone had like, or like graduation, you know what I mean? Like summer break sort of thing. So it was always like a million things were going on, which was usually fun because I could like group it into like other celebrations. And I shared it with like one of my best friends, Taylor.
Oh,
Taylor
nice.
Sharp. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Taylor.
And then in like middle school and high school and college, I always had really good friend groups where like I wouldn't get anxiety over like planning a birthday party because I was like, well, I have like my core friend group and I know who's going to be there, blah, 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 blah. And then coming into Chicago, I think honestly, that's where I started getting like birthday anxiety of like, just because I moved to Chicago, I knew like one person and then it's like, okay, I met a couple people from my improv class and a couple people at work. And then it's like, if I want to do something on my birthday, it's going to be like 6 or 7 people, all who are kind of random, who I'm still sort of like getting to know and who knows how they're going to interact and blah, blah, blah. And so I feel like for a couple of years, it was sort of like finding my way in terms of like finding my people in the city. And I think the first couple of years that I lived in Chicago, a lot of my college friends would come for my birthday. And so I think there was like a little bit in the 20s where I wasn't used to not having like a group of friends who, you know, like a new, like a sitcom group of friends, you know, the people who are going to be there and the dynamics, and there's no mysteries around how it's just like, oh yeah, these are my friends. This is, we know how to have fun with each other, blah, blah, blah. Putting groups together who like don't know each other. And now I'm lucky enough to have like built a group that I do feel that way of like, obviously there's like newer people or whatever, but there's not much mystery in like the group that was together yesterday. You know what I mean?
And they're all people who enjoy meeting the other people because it's like you've gathered a good collection.
Yes.
People who can handle themselves.
Exactly.
And like weirdly, we have a lot of Virgo risings just in general in our friend group. There's something very nice about planning it and having like all of the people that you want there who are also having a good time and having also like it's fun to celebrate being alive for another year.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Amen. Because you know what? It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. I think I was kind of lucky because my entire life, since my birthday was always the day after Halloween, I just like always had a Halloween party. It was just like in my blood.
Yeah.
Where I was like, well, I'm gonna have a Halloween party.
Right.
And it was like a nice excuse.
And it's so Scorpio.
It is so Scorpio, and it was so fun to like have a spooky, scary party. Anyhow, are there any before we talk about other things? Are there any words you want to put out into the ether of 34, especially now that it's a Taurus new moon?
I know, right? I want. I guess I don't really know.
That's fair. I put you on the spot.
I'm like, normally I think tomorrow will be like that day that I'm like really sit down and sort of like meditate on it.
Yeah.
Because like right now I'm just sort of like hanging on by like a thread.
Same.
So we just kind of like wanted to do an episode where we're like checking in with each other. We don't have a guest. We're going to like bop around to like a couple of our own seeds.
Give some updates.
Just
from our life. I don't know.
Okay.
That I went to like the psychic or I don't know.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, okay. Where do we want to begin?
Where shall we begin? How about this? I think the first thing, because I wrote a couple of things down. When we talk about consuming, we both right now are consuming the artist's way, but also as part of the artist's way, like we couldn't read for a week, but before I know.
This Artist week, I was a bad girl.
I think this week, because in the artist's way, it says like, don't consume any reading because it's supposed to like free up your mind. But I actually think the more updated version would be like, don't consume social media.
Yeah.
Because
which I also did.
I also did that too. I kept putting a time limit on stuff, but like, God, it's just so hard not to say, remind me in 15 minutes.
Right.
Anyway, but before this whole week of the artist's way rule, Hannah was reading this book and then told me to read it, and I've been really enjoying it.
Where are you at? So it's Conversations on Love by Natasha Lunn. What chapter are you on, or what?
I don't know what
area?
chapter I'm on.
What's it talking about?
It's literally just like talking about like
Conversations on Love.
It's conversations. It's like talking about friendships and like how much friendships can give versus like in a romantic relationship. But I'm like 70 pages in.
Okay. So the way the book is set up, it's essentially someone's interviewing all of these different authors about love, and it's set up in 3 different sections. The first section is finding love. Second section is like withstanding or like holding on to love. And then the last one is like letting go of love or loss.
Okay.
And I mean, everyone, like, this is the assignment. Everyone go read that book.
I wish I had read this in my 20s.
It's so good. I actually bought a copy for my therapist because I found out that she was a Taurus, using my context clues about her. And then I was like, I don't know if it's okay, but I bought you a little birthday gift. I bought you this book. And she was like, oh, I can't take it.
It's not okay. That was actually not okay.
She was like, I will read it, but then it has to live, like I can't bring it home. And I was just like, well, maybe I won't even fucking give it to you. You freaking ungrateful.
I want her to
just
take
kidding. I love
it.
her. I know.
Find out where she lives and put it on our doorstep.
From a little secret admirer.
Raccoon dropped this off for you, miss.
A professional dancer dropped this off for you.
You can pull her where what she did on your last night, where she like dropped off a gift with Valentina, and like then Valentina handed it to me and was like, this was a gift for Hannah from someone, and I just saw the back of her head with like a little claw clip in, kind of like Charlie from Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
And so you can do the same thing where you dress up as an Amazon package worker.
This is how I get dropped by my therapist.
She'd be like, I actually appreciated how hard you tried to get in contact.
But I was just telling her, because I was just bringing up all the stuff that I had gleaned from it. And it just like really breaks things down. Something I've been like really thinking about it, especially like the loss section, just like having gone through so much grief so like early in my life, and like losing my brother, having like some complicated family dynamics, and then like just losing my aunt, losing my grandma, losing my like animal that I had, like lots of animals growing up. But just I feel like it was all of a sudden this like crash course in loss where it was like I never went to a funeral growing up. You know what I mean? Like I had all 4 of my grandparents up until I went to college. Like, and then it was just honestly, like the span of, in the astrology of it all. So 2018 to now was supposed to be fucking hell on earth for Tauruses. And that is literally like the time that I experienced like all the loss. Like
Crazy.
just losing all those people, getting out of my first like romantic, like serious romantic relationship, which is like a loss in itself. And it was just like this truly like 8 years of like a crash course on grief.
Yeah.
And it was cool to like read other people's stories who have gone through just like massive loss in their life. And something I've been just sort of meditating on is like bad things happening in your life, sad, scary, traumatic things happening in your life does not equate to a bad life. Hard things don't equate to a bad life, which I think sounds so simple, but in my mind, I'm just like, it reminds me because I look around in my life right now and I'm like so happy, and I'm like, bad things have happened. I've had to go through the ringer a couple times, but like I have a good life despite that. But that's because I chose to have a good life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Not sit in like the narrative of being like, this is a bad life.
Well, right. Like I think it's so easy to
Definitely
like be defeated by it, to be like defeated by the sadness and being like, nothing works out for me, or I'm just like, life is but a lot of the loss section was just talking about how like loss just like softens you and just like I don't know. I remember when I first lost my brother, David, it was like his birthday and then the day he passed away were like always like these big calendar days where it was like weeks leading up. I would feel it, weeks leading. You know, it was just this sort of, I don't know, build up to those days. And I always wanted to like do it right and be like, okay, on David's birthday, like I like had a tradition where, cause my brother was like chain smoker of cigarettes. And so I would like, and he like loved being in nature. So I would like go out in nature and I would like smoke a cigarette and be like, I'm going to smoke a cigarette with David on his birthday. And because like whenever he was alive, he would always be like, you want a cigarette, Hannah? I was like, okay. And, but then he'd always be like joking around if he could get me to smoke one or not. But yeah, so I was doing that and just tried to figure out ways to like memorialize on those days. And this one author was saying basically like they felt that same way. And then like a decade later after their loss, they were like, I didn't feel the need to like to punctuate those moments as much because it was like this loss and this person has just become a part of who I am. And I feel like I'm getting to that where it's like smooths out over your entire being and your entire life rather than being just like, oh, I think about them really hard on that day. It's like, I think as you work through it and heal, it can be more like ebbs and flows of like positivity throughout the day or negativity or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And I like, it just has all been really nice and really, really comforting.
Yeah, totally.
I've sent it to so many people because it also talks about a lot of different subjects. Like the woman in the book, she had trouble conceiving and had a miscarriage. And I know a lot of my friends have dealt with infertility struggles, miscarrying, all of those things, which is something like, while I can't speak to, I always want to be like open for people to talk about that too.
Yeah.
But when I read this, I was like, oh my God, this is a good tool for me to help them of being like, you should read this. I think it'll like give you a lot of like peace and like help and make you feel less alone. I think we all just don't want to feel alone.
The whole book is so validating.
Yes.
You know, also this reminded me, I was reading the New York Times article about Martin Short's new documentary.
I heard it's good.
I think it's really good, but it's interesting. This reminded me of you a little bit just because there was a period in his life where it was like 8 years of loss. And like his brother was like, man, that was a tough 8 years. But like Martin Short talks so much about like how he's been able to find the joys in life without like sitting in loss.
Yeah.
And it's just like very, very interesting. I need to watch the documentary.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing me and my therapist have like really been thinking about and working on too, is like, because I like had like loss and here's spoiler alert. I learned I have complex PTSD and I'm trying to go into 34, even on this podcast, just being more like vocal about things that I've gone through, and hopefully it makes other people feel less alone.
Yes.
But because the way in which I lost people in my life was traumatic, I have PTSD. And so like, say, one little thing, if I get a call from my mom at a time that's just slightly weirder in the day, like I can go all the way to being like, well, I need to go pack my suitcase because someone died. Like, but like, and it doesn't make sense, but in my mind it makes sense. And I just jump a million, like even, and it was just like that, like 8 years, it just felt like it was one of those things where as soon as I was like, well, now things are gonna get better, it would be like it would just like immediately like, no, bitch, down. And it would be like ways in which I wouldn't have even guessed, like ways in which where I'm like, I couldn't have even cooked that up. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. So what I'm working this year, we're focusing on me having tools to not spiral to worst case scenario, and then also be like, if the worst thing does happen, you can't control that anyway. And so like, if today is a good day, don't be afraid to say today is a good day and claim that, because today could be a good day and tomorrow could be a bad day. But like, if you spend all of your good day thinking about how tomorrow's going to be a bad day, then you're having 2 bad days.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
And so I'm really trying to be like, not afraid to like claim goodness and joy in my life, and not be like fucking Anna Faris in Scary Movie, where it's like, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
But like, sometimes it felt like I would literally like bite my tongue, like to say like, things are going really well right now. And because I would feel like then the other shoe would drop somehow. So I think in this book, they talk a lot about that it's like, I mean, all of it's like gratitude and just how love is surrounding us in so many different ways. I like it too because it's not just all about romantic love either.
Yeah.
It's like familial love, friendship love, all of those different sorts of love.
I'm still only in the finding love section, but it's just very, very interesting because it talks so much about like, because of this sort of societal pressure that we think we have to end up with someone, or that like we'll never be happy until we're with someone.
Yeah.
I think it just does a really good job of talking about how like, when you enter into a romantic situation, not thinking like thinking I'll be fine either way if this does work out or doesn't work out, is such a like more successful way of going into it versus like, if this doesn't work out, like it's a me problem again, and like I'm not going to be happy. And so
I think it's also like the savior as I think there was like a narrative like growing up where it's like, when you fall in love, like that person's going to like save you from your life. And this book is all about like, that is a farce. No one is going to save you from your life. Someone could surely like help you manage your life, and they can add things to your life, but like no relationship is going to like fix anything that was already broken in you if you don't fix it yourself, which is kind of like duh. But I don't know. I think this book like puts it in I think sometimes it can be like, well, that romantic love, that's the key to fix this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, that's just not reality at all.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
She does. She puts it in a very digestible way where you're like, yes.
Yes, it's very, and there's like it's highlighting a lot of authors that we like. Dolly Alderton's in there. Esther Perel is in there. But yeah, I loved it. I mean, I'm done. I want to read it again.
I haven't been reading it this week, and it's not even because Artist Way told me not to. I just, every time I open it in bed, I fall asleep.
That's not indicative of the book, everyone.
No. It has nothing to do with the book. I've just been tired, sore from dancing.
Sore.
Well, let's move into our contemplation.
Okay.
Which this kind of already, this flows nicely into this, but something I've been talking about with my therapist is anger. And I've been like contemplating like what my balance of anger is because, and this was something that I think sorry, I keep bringing up the Artist Way, but in the Artist Way, it talks about like noticing synchronicities in your life and like what keeps popping up. And it was interesting because she had a section on anger and how like when we're angry as artists, it can tell us a lot about like what's maybe blocking us or keeping us from doing something, whether it's like we're angry and the underlying feeling is like because we're not allowing ourselves to like access a certain artistic moment or whatever. We're like too hard on ourselves. Anyway, but then a friend, Adisa, sent me a video about like how women who suppress their anger, it adds to their autoimmune diseases, or just like how so many women make themselves sick by not allowing themselves to be angry.
Yeah.
And I think I used to, especially when I was unmedicated and not in therapy, I used to allow myself to get angry.
Yeah.
And in those times, a lot of times actually, when I was really angry, I also was like really creative and motivated and like had a lot of like flow. But on the other hand, that anger was like very hard to control and didn't feel good. And I felt like it brought out like a side of me that just I didn't like. And then anyway, so then I think like going on medication and then going through therapy, I've been learning how to like tame that anger and
bring it back a little bit.
Yeah. So now I'm like, I guess I have to like get it back a little.
You need to go to like a rage room. Like
I know. I need to like, it's just, I've done such a good job, I think, of training myself when something I would take personally in the past, being like, I'm actually not going to take that personally. Like, I'm not going to get mad. I know there was no malintent. Like, I'm not going to let this ruin my day, which has been super helpful.
Yeah.
In general, totally great. Especially in terms of like, I don't know, you work with so many different people and you just like can't take shit personally because it just is a waste of energy. But sometimes I guess it's not a waste of energy because if there's certain things that like anger you, it's okay to like be aware and sit in that for a sec versus it being like unhinged anger.
Totally.
Uncontrollable anger.
Right.
And that balance is hard.
Yeah. I mean, what's the ideal way to like get out the anger then? Like scream? Like, do you ever like scream?
I never scream. I never scream. I don't know. Even when I'm like upset with someone, I hardly ever raise my voice anymore.
Yeah.
Like, versus when I think about like relationships in my 20s, especially like with boys, I would like raise my voice or be like, no, you hurt me. And now like, I don't know. I never scream.
Do you want to scream right now?
I don't even know how I could. Like, I have nodes. That got my anger out. Yeah, I need to.
What do you think you get like what makes you angry?
I actually think some soccer might be helpful in helping me get my anger
totally.
out, because people will like piss me off on the field and I'll be like, I should hunt him down and troll his mother.
What the mother got to do with it?
I don't know. There was like one time where this guy was like, ref, that was a handball. And I was like, I didn't even mean to touch it. Like it just hit my hand. And he goes, yeah, you clearly did mean to touch it. And I was so mad that he was talking to me like and taking this so seriously that when I was on the side, I was like, I want to find out that guy's whole life story, find out who's important to him, and catfish those people online. And then the guy who was next to me was like, whoa. And then I was like, oh, come on.
Like you've never done that
Like
before.
you've never thought about doing it. But I thought I was being funny, but God.
Sports are really fun to be petty in. Like I remember in tennis, like especially playing doubles, like it was just so, especially if you were like playing a cunt, like it just to be like celebratory in moments. And it was just, I don't know. I loved doing petty shit.
I know, you could really lean into the extremities of being like, one time I was playing soccer when I was 16 and this girl was pushing against me. And so I was pushing her back and she goes, get off me, lesbian. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, first off, that's so homophobic. And second of all, you were all over me.
You're the lesbian.
Anyway, so I really got to tap back into that, I guess. Very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I've never leaned angry. I lean like I shut down. I'm just like, if I like say something is happening that's like makes me so upset, I never go to like anger. I go to like, and I just like, I get like unresponsive and it's like really scary. And like, it's not a fun feeling. Like, I feel like in that moment, like in the way when people lose control, when they're like angry and they can't control it, like when I shut down, like I feel like I can't, I'm like, Ursula has taken my vocal cords. I can't tell you, I can't speak. And I just like will go mute for like 24 hours. And then the next day I'll just like fucking like be like, this is what I was feeling and blah, 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 and all of those things. And then that's whenever I usually take action of, do I communicate that or blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But like that I'm sure is my, like, rather than being angry, I think it's angering to other people when I shut down because they're like, you should talk to me about it or you should, and I'm just like, me cannot.
I don't want to go there.
I can't speak and I need to go on a like 8-mile walk by myself and I'll figure it out from there.
I think like it would be helpful for me to basically not necessarily like push it down, but just like when the feeling of anger happens, not metabolizing it so quickly.
Maybe like do something like to
the person.
A way to get it out to like bring it into your daily habits of feeling anger.
Have you ever gotten so mad that you start laughing? Like there have been times where like one time, this is a silly example, but like Joey like couldn't find his sunglasses and he was like taking so much shit out of all the drawers everywhere, like making such a mess, being like, Leila, where are my sunglasses? Where are my sunglasses? And I was like doing something else. And I was like, after I'm done, I'll help you look. And then I was also like, but you don't even need your sunglasses right now. It was something along those lines. Anyway, he was just like, Leila, I need my sunglasses. Like if I lost the sunglasses, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, okay, hold on. So then I went and like looked and immediately found them. And then like was like, here they are. And then he was like, okay, well, yeah, I wish you would have helped me earlier. And I was like, I need you to just like not talk to me for a second.
Like foaming at the mouth right now.
I was like, this is so crazy. I was laughing like so insanely because of how mad I was. My cheeks are red. But like, It's so weird. Like, I think I get so, I've tried so hard to tamper it that it comes out in different ways. Anyway.
Whenever you were growing up, did you see your parents get angry?
Definitely there were like moments where they would get mad.
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while, like we get a peek behind the blinds, but it was like, my parents were such magicians of like, just, that was not how we, do things. Like, it's like anger was not super copacetic in our house, which I don't think was super healthy. I think it's like, to be like, this emotion is bad, then you're like, oh, that emotion is bad. But all emotions are helpful in some way.
Yeah,
and
it's so telling.
It's so telling. So to be like, this feeling's bad, or feeling sad is bad, or but that's, I mean, another thing that me and my therapist is talking about is like, if you're like feeling sad, like, it's okay to feel sad. That's a part of life. Like, a part of life is feeling sad. Like, you will not live a good, rounded life if you don't feel all of the different emotions. You can't access joy without feeling sadness.
Yes.
So if you don't like allow yourself and you like numb yourself out to this like level, you don't get to have like those highs and lows if you don't like allow yourself.
Totally. And we were actually talking about this at your birthday yesterday.
When you were blacked out.
When we were blacked out. That like we remember moments in our life because of our strong feeling, like a moment in childhood when you were so embarrassed or so elated that like it really punctuates that moment in your life. Like, I remember there was a time that I was so upset with my brother that my jaw locked up, and that was when I first got like TMJ.
That's like one of my... That's so scary to me.
Oh God. It was like, it was so crazy, but I remember it so well. But you know, just like, I think it's like we do so much as women to fucking like tamper our emotions down and be in control and not let men affect us, which I think is really important because like, it's like, there's just so much you're balancing in society every day of how you're being perceived and like people respecting you. So you don't want to show them when you get emotional or upset or affected by them. But then at the same time, I also feel like I don't want to numb myself out too much or keep myself from having these strong emotions so that I can get data in my body of like how I'm feeling, honestly, like being able to connect to my gut. And then also I think if I tamper it too much, it literally affects my alopecia. Like, I think we make ourselves sick by suppressing stuff or like anger is a gateway drug, right? Or a gateway feeling to something else.
Yes.
It's always like there's something
usually
there.
Anger is sadness.
Yes. Or hurt or jealousy or something behind that. But it's like if we don't allow ourselves to understand the anger and feeling it. So I don't know. I've just been thinking about that. I guess I'm trying to get angry, but in a tempered manner at a 5, angry at a 5.
Yeah. And just like finding, spaces where you can tap into it, like on the soccer field or I don't know, at a Walgreens.
When you said what makes you angry, I'm trying to think. And like, there's really not that, I guess I get angry when like men say something kind of dismissive or I get angry when people make me feel dumb or like that my opinion is dismissed or not heard.
Or like feeling disrespected in some way, which there's so many different ways to feel disrespected. Also, this all made me think about, I guess my contemplation is just another sort of truth bomb my therapist dropped is we were talking about loss. And I was just like talking about grief, and I was like, you know, most days I feel okay, and then there will be like every once in a while where it's like like for example, like we were talking about Izzy, and I was just like, you know, most days I can just like be grateful for his presence in my life and all of the memories and everything, and then it'll be like I get like a and I get like an image of like Izzy on his last day and like getting like a shot, or like him being like, you know, like getting like a disturbing image from that happening, like a traumatic image. And I was like, you know, it's just like, is that just how everyone is? And she was like, actually, Hannah, like not all loss in your life is going to be traumatic. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of like, because then I was really thinking about it, and it's like losing my grandma, I wouldn't call that traumatic, because she had cancer, and she, you know, told us, she was like, I'm ready to die. I don't want to do chemo. She was like, I've seen a lot of death. I'm ready to go. Like, it's my time. And she was just like, awesome. She like chose it for herself. And yes, like I was not there on like her very last days, where she was like, you know, so small and frail, and like I'm sure those are like images like my dad might have, because he was by her side, but like I don't have any of those sort of like ping scary feelings and images and around it, and it felt like a peaceful loss. Or like, say, a breakup you have with someone that nothing necessarily like terrible happened to you, like fell out of love, or you decided you just weren't right for each other. Like, think of someone you went on a couple dates with, and it's like, I easily never thought of them ever again. Like, that's a non-traumatic loss, or whatever that may be. Or like a friendship you grow out of. Like, it doesn't have to be like we got in this huge volatile fight. It's like we drifted apart.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where EMDR comes in. Is because she's training in EMDR.
Oh.
EMDR is like rapid eye movement. So she says with EMDR you can like take away some of those traumatic images. So I was like, well, because she's talked to me about doing like ketamine therapy, which is like also supposed to help in like trauma, of being like, you can, you know, rewire some of these like sensations, whatever. But I just thought that, I don't know if, I mean, tell me if you think that's like a duh statement of like, not all loss is traumatic, but you know what?
I think that's like such a good point and way to look at it. And like, I mean, in talking to Lane about this, like she was saying how some loss can be like so beautiful.
Yes.
You know, or like such a celebration of life in certain ways.
Right.
Versus like something happening like so spontaneously, or like, or in a way where you're like watching like your animal go through such painful situations.
Yeah. It was interesting of just like, I'm like, I don't want to be like too much of a lab rat with my mind, but I'm like, I'm interested. In the EMDR of it all.
I think right now, because we have like free time, it is very interesting to be like, well, I'll try it.
I'm like,
I'll try anything once.
Right. Okay. I have a curious one.
You have a curious?
It's a real off that this just came to me whenever I was walking. I'm curious why I got kicked off of Uber and Hinge.
I'm really glad you brought this up.
Because I was like, so kind of some backstory. I am not allowed on Hinge or Uber.
That's the backstory.
But I don't know why. So I like... The last time I had Hinge was like over like probably like a year ago now. And I had it on my phone. I was just like not active on it. But then like all of these people like had liked me. I don't know if I've talked about this on the pod of the Hinge.
No.
And so I was just like banking up a bunch of likes, nothing to get excited about, bunch of freaks. And so then, you know, I have like a couple hundred to like sort through, and I'm going through, and it's like, I mean, basically all no. It's like, no, like rapid fire, like hell no. And then I like put my phone down, and then like an hour later, I get an email from Hinge being like, your account has been like marked for, has been reported for something, for like suspicious activity or like something. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then I was asking my sister, who was like very active on the apps at one point. I was like, has this ever happened to you? She's like, no. And I say no to a lot of people. And I'm like, that's so weird. And so then I didn't want to be on Hinge anyway. So I was kind of like, this is a sign from the universe that I'd never have to be on Hinge ever again. But then with Uber, I like years ago, I got like a notice from Uber being like, you're not allowed, you broke community guidelines and you're never allowed to take, you're suspended from Uber. And then actually a year ago, I think it was a year ago, because for when Izzy passed away, you guys got me an Uber Eats gift card.
Oh no.
And I tried to use the Uber Eats gift card and I was still logged, like it wouldn't even let me use that Uber. And so then that's whenever I was like, can I ask why, like what happened, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, you've been like noted as like breaking community guidelines. I was like, can I know when and where I did this? And they were like, no, and we will no longer be communicating with you anymore. Like I got excommunicated from Uber and they were like, goodbye, never like, and it was like, no, they gave me no information. They gave nothing.
That is so crazy.
The only thing I can think of is going on I was going on a lot of bachelorette trips for a while and maybe I ordered an Uber and one of my friends was like threw up in the Uber or was acting crazy or something.
But even then, wouldn't they have like a record of that?
And wouldn't they like charge? It's usually like $150 fine. I'm like,
were one of the Uber drivers your worst enemy? Was it someone you went to high school with?
Not that I know of. I literally have no idea. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just so curious. What, like, did I do something? Like, what did I do?
You're a terrorist. A terrorist of Uber.
Like,
that is crazy.
I really have no clue.
I wonder if Uber and Hinge are in cahoots.
I have no idea, but I was kind of like, well, according to the psychic, which maybe we should hear about your psychic.
Oh, yes.
Since you never brought that up. But the psychic said I'm not going to meet anyone online, but if I wanted to go on online, like apps to like for funsie, I could. And I'm like, do I want to like download some sort of app for the summer? And I'm just
could be fun.
It could also be really unfun.
I guess it's kind of like, I feel like you have to do the dating apps in windows, where like you give it like a week and then if it's annoying, you're like, all right, I'll be off for 2 weeks. And
also,
then
like Hinge was so like the go-to one. And that's like, but like the last time I was on Tinder just would go awry so quickly. Like it would be so.
Tinder is the wild, wild west.
Truly, it would be like the most innocuous. I remember once like this guy was like, hi, hi, beautiful. Like, how's your morning? I was like, oh, it's good. Like I just woke up. And he was like, oh, really? What are you up to now? I was like, well, I'm just being lazy in bed. He's like, I wish I was in bed with my cock like in your mouth.
So, what do you like to do for fun?
I'm not kidding. It was that like, and I was like, whoa. And it was like annoying because I didn't even feel like I consented to that.
I'm like, what woman responds? I don't know a lot of women that would respond to that. I don't want to shame anyone, but like, I just know that oftentimes if someone responds to me like that, saying I want to be in bed with my cock in your mouth, I'm going to be like, I'm not getting anything out of this.
Right. I'm like, maybe if you're like in bed with me tickling my back and you got me a good latte.
Exactly. That's what I want. I don't really care for your cock in my mouth.
Tickling my back with your cock.
If your cock's a tickler, I'd love it. Cock tickler.
He's got a tickling cock.
The slightest tickle of a cock.
My image of my mind is a Theragun, but the end of the Theragun is a dick.
Basically is. See, that's what we need on Tinder.
Yeah. Theradick.
Hey
guys, thank you so much for listening to I Can't Wait to Tell You. This is Hannah.
This is Leila.
And we just want to let you know how much you mean to us. And we we want to know how much we mean to you.
Please,
if you could right now leave us a rating, give us a thumbs up on one of our YouTube videos.
Include something that you just heard on this episode, maybe in your review, a one-liner, a quote.
Yeah, comment on an episode in Spotify. All of these things mean so much.
It helps us out so much.
Yes, and for every like we get on this episode and review equals one cock tickle that Leila will get.
The cock tickler comes in your room at night and gives you a cock tickle, and we'll make sure it happens if you give us a like. I'm doing like, send this to 10 friends and the cock tickler will come after you.
If you don't like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the cock tickler will come for you. Anyways, back to the episode. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know what I've heard of Field. People are on Field these days. And I'm like, I guess Bumble still exists. I was on Raya for a little bit.
I know.
I think I probably could get back on Raya if I wanted to.
Maybe you should just date a celebrity for the summer.
But the thing is nobody on Raya liked me. Like that, like I think I'm a cute girl.
Very cute.
But
beautiful, in fact.
But on Raya, it's like, I'm not what they're looking for. They're looking for like Instagram models, you know?
I feel like Raya is so strange.
It's
but
like
then
so superficial.
There's got to be one guy that's like, just give me a real woman.
I remember seeing a lot of sports players.
Sports players. Sports ball players.
Sports ball players.
That would be nice.
I'm like, dating an athlete.
He's like, so you like comedy?
What if you did comedy and my cock was in your mouth?
One time, I had this crush on this guy that I worked at. I had this job at a like sports recruiting company when I was 23. And there was this guy who I thought was so cute, and we'd like talk on the work chat all the time. And one time he messaged me on Instagram and I was like, oh my God. And he was like, you look really beautiful tonight. And I was like, oh my gosh, like if I'm being honest, like I've always had a little crush on you. And he was like, well, I want to put my cock in your puss and fuck you hard tonight. And I was like, why? Why'd you have to do this? You ruined everything.
And it's just like, I think it's rude. It's like even dirty talk that's like it's like an unsolicited dick pic without the dick pic of just being like, by you not asking me or us not like warming up to get there. And then it feels like even verbal consent via text message. It's
verbal
just
consent and verbal foreplay.
Right.
Work me up to it. We're getting to the climax so fast. No one cares about the tension leading up to it.
Men don't.
Men don't.
Stupid
men. And I'm angry. I'm angry. Yes, that's such a. I'm curious about that too, Hannah. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm like, it surely doesn't keep me up at night. I'm on Lyft.
You're on Lyft.
I'm on Lyft and DoorDash. So
it's. I liked Hinge back in the old days when you could see your mutual friends. You know what I'm talking about? Like you would be matched with people because you had mutual friends on social media.
I didn't know that.
This was like 2015.
I will say that's a good way to use the dating apps, is like seeing someone who you like may never have like bridged that having a conversation of having attraction to each other, but knowing who each other are, and then like swipe. Like I've matched with people that way where it's like, oh my God, you're on here and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that also like kind of adds a weird element of like, are we like talking as friends on here or like whenever I worked at a bakery, there was like a regular who like liked me like 6 different times on Hinge, and each time I would, shoo it away. and it was just so uncomfortable. And I was like, bro, don't you, like, he would send me like a like with like little croissant emojis. And I was like,
because of where you work.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, it's so uncomfortable.
Hinge also, there was like this weird thing that would happen where like, when you would go off, you would go on Hinge, match with some people, start talking, they ghost, like stop, they fade away and stop talking. Then you stop doing it for a couple months. You go back on Hinge. Those same people you match with again, they message you again.
Yes.
Then they fade out again. And it's like, what was the point of this process?
So remember whenever I matched with that guy, and well, this is like my mistake because we matched and he's like, do you want to get tacos in Pilsen? And I was like, okay. But and like Pilsen is like far away from us. And so then like leading up to the day, everything seemed like normal. And then I was like heading there and I hadn't like heard from him. And I like texted him, I'm like, I'm on my way. And they didn't hear anything. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh God,
and
I forgot about
And then I was like going there and I was like, maybe he'll just be there. Blah, blah. Then I get to the place. And I'm like, I'm here. Are you here? And no response. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting 5 more minutes and then I'm going to fucking leave. Wait 5 minutes. He never shows up. And so then I like am like FaceTiming Leila and I was like, I'm so fucking pissed. If honestly going back, I should have just went and got a drink at the bar by myself. But I was just so fucking pissed. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I want to give him a piece of my mind. And Layla was like, you should do it. So I left a voice memo and I was like, hi, this is Hannah. Your date that you just stood up. I was like, I don't know if you'll ever listen to it or if you care, but like, it was just really disrespectful what you did. Like, I have a life and I am a human and I planned my day to come out to Pilsen and meet up with you. Like, if you would have just communicated that you weren't going to be here, like, I don't know you. Like, there would be like, no, like, I didn't even want to come on this date. Like, I wish you would have just communicated that to me. It's so disrespectful. And I just hope you know you ruined my day, like something like that. And then I like sent it off and then he never responded. And then I had like deleted Hinge and then I had gotten back on again. And that dude liked me again.
I just don't understand.
It's so
I remember
up.
that voice memo.
Hey, so obviously I left Pilsen Yards because you did not show up. I left a long time ago, but I just wanted to say it would have been all good if you didn't want to meet up tonight, but I wish you would have communicated that or sent a text before I drove all the way down to Pilsen. I just feel like that was a really shitty thing to do because I'm a person with a life and my time is valuable to me. So I hope you don't do that to other people moving forward. Yeah. Have a nice night and a nice life.
See, in my mind, I was like so much meaner.
But you were like, I get it. Like, if you didn't want to come, that's fair. But like, I took time out of my day to show up here, and like, I'm a decent human being. All you had to do was just message me. You were like, you worded it so well. I can't believe he couldn't just be like, you're right. I'm sorry.
Right.
God forbid.
What's the point of that? Like, even if it was like, I'm on my way to Pilsen and he's like, even if he was so cowardice to like unmatch me to show me that he doesn't want like anything to do anything, any sort of indicator that he wasn't going to show up, anything.
Yeah.
It was so frustrating.
I just like imagine he's sitting at the corner of the bar, like watching you, and he's like
jerking off.
He's like, yeah, he's getting off on it, watching you be upset.
He's the old Hinge
bar voyeur. The Pilsen bar voyeur.
Sets up dates and never shows up.
Watch out for him.
That's honestly worse. Like, I don't know what's worse, being a bad date or like
just not showing up.
Not showing up in that way is really fucked up.
Being a bad date sucks, but it's like, at least you were meeting my vulnerability. Like,
right.
At least we could agree on that. But yeah, that was brutal.
My sister and her friends do this thing in New York that none of our friends have ever really dabbled in, where they will be like out like at the bars drinking and they'll match with someone and like have like men sort of get delivered to that, where it'll be like someone from Hinge will just come meet up with them at the bar and then they'll all hang out with them and sort of like be like, is anyone vibing with him? And then they'll be like, okay, we're leaving now, like bye, or be like, hang out with us the rest of the night. Like they do that all the time.
I think that's really smart. I did that once with a guy named shout out to and he came and met me and my friends out at the bar, and then like this was like in my 2019 like fuck it era, and we had a really fun time. It was awesome.
How did it end?
Well, I want to say what happened, but in case somehow,
I guess bleep the name.
I guess I'll bleep his name, but I wanted to give him a shout out so that he'll listen to the pod. If you're my parents or a family member, don't listen to this story, or just know that I'm about to say something sexual. Is
this a lawyer?
No.
Okay.
Oh God, that was terrible.
Yeah.
The lawyer, so hopeful, and that was terrible. No, but that guy ruined my dress. I
With
sorry.
his cock tickling my
With his
back.
cock tickling. All I wanted was a cock tickle, and then he ripped my Gap
All
dress.
she ever wanted was a cock tickle.
So we had gone out like a couple of times, and he was very fickle with texting, which was like kind of annoying, but I was like,
Love that
whatever.
use of
Fickle. But I was like, all right, well, I want something more consistent. I'm just not going to take this personally. But then we met up like a fourth time, and we were like, getting ready to do it. And he spanked me so hard.
I remember
it
this
left
now.
a handprint, and it just shocked me so much. And I think if I had known him for a little longer, or there was like some sort of foundation of trust built,
It's giving cock in your mouth.
I could have been
A
open
warm up
to that.
yes.
But there was no warm up. It was so immediate. It like really freaked me out. It just, my body like had an immediate reaction. And I also had just never been spanked before like that. Now I get spanked all the time. Just kidding. But,
when I do something bad.
But when I do something bad and get angry. But I was just so caught off guard.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just couldn't see him again.
I will say, I guess we're going sexual in this episode.
I know. Who would have thought?
I know. The past couple times when a guy has I think something reads about me, spanked me. I must be giving that off because
Spank energy.
the last couple times I've fooled around with someone, I got a little, nothing hard, just a little, warm up spank and to see, kind of test out the waters, but I never asked for it, but they assume something.
You just have too juicy of an ass.
I think it's that, or they want to be you loud girl.
You loud girl, I'm gonna dom you.
Yeah.
Take my cock in your mouth. Time to dom you, little girl.
Okay, if you're listening and if you want to play a drinking game, drink every time we say cock in my mouth in this episode.
I know. Can we put that blurb early in the episode?
We should put that at the very beginning of the episode because we don't talk about it for so long. So
It'll give them something to look forward to.
Yeah, so you're talking about grief, and they're gonna be like, "When does cock in my mouth come in?"
If you don't want to hear the grief stuff, get to the cock in my mouth.
Cock in the mouth.
I was just talking to a friend who told me that she knew someone who went on a date, and on the first date, they had their first kiss, and he choked her on the first kiss.
Was it okay? So here's my thought. Because have you ever been kissed and someone just holds you by the neck and it's not a choke? And that can be kind of
domineering. I could see it.
But if it's if there's pressure around that, I would be like, bro, what's going on?
I guess it really depends on the person. If they just have the joie de vivre, and I'm like, wow, you're the way you're choking me is so sexy. But if
a
it's
choke feels like you need
I
to
just
work
feel
your
like
way
it comes
up.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Choking on the first kiss feels, I think, unless there's some sort of extenuating circumstance where it just really makes sense. But I don't know if I'd like that.
Yeah. I think
Unless you met on a kink app.
Right. And it was I think there needs to be discussion beforehand. I was never offended by a spank because they were respectful, kind of tested, kind of a
little one. And then
a little, a playful little
I wish we could have gotten that on the mic. The slight.
It's a wait. Would you bend over? A little. Oh, that was a good one.
Hannah spanked me just right. but literally, if you do a little of that and then say is that okay?
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, okay.
Now that I thought about it, I've never spanked a guy before. What do you think they would get offended? Because it's kind of when a guy spanks a girl, it's kind of you know, Dom sort of like daddy energy. Like, I wonder if like you like come on, little boy. Like how they would respond to a playful slap on the bum.
Honestly, goal for the summer. Try it out. And then you get banned from that app.
She's the Bumble booty spanker. Bumble spanker. So the Bumble spanker.
Careful with that one.
You didn't know that, girl? She's the Bumble Spanker. She's been spanking in all 50 countries.
Just you wait. From Bangladesh to Paris. Paris, the country.
I love it. And then a guy thinks that they're not with the Bumble Spanker, and then it's when they're least expecting it. I come up from another room.
They're like, surely this could never be the Bumble Spanker. You like have such soft hands. Yeah. You would never think. You feed a kitten. Yeah. This surely can't be her.
Bumble Spanker. Then he turns around to walk away, and I spank the cat.
And the cat loves it.
Yeah. You know who loves a spank? Boop.
That's so weird. Olive also loves a tushy like spank rub
Boop
padding.
Is such a little horny girl for getting spanked. She like say, hold the mic. This is Boop's ass.
Yeah, keep going. Oh shit. Oh shit, yeah. Damn. So you hit your cat.
And she'll be like,
no, Olive also likes a good tushy pat.
they have like receptors there.
It totally makes sense. She loves it.
That's the science I know about.
That's a science we know about. Wait, I'm looking at my list to see if there was anything else I was curious about, but I think we can keep going. Oh, how about, okay, my curious was that I was curious about belly dancing, and this goes into my psychic. So I'm curious about taking a belly dancing class because it kind of scares me. And, you know, we were talking about dancing at the beginning. Yeah. But basically, the summation is I went to a psychic.
Same psychic.
Same
Kat
psychic
Rubio.
as Hannah. Kat Rubio, loved her, definitely recommend. I did like the full special of like a pendulum, a crystal ball, tarot cards, and then a set of Mexican tarot cards.
And a spank.
Loved. And basically the like main things that came up, I asked her if my hair would grow back. She told me that it would take around 3 years, and that the 3 years were also like emblematic of a big health incline, that like things are going to get much, much better for my health and progressive, and I'll just feel like much better in my body. And she was like, and along with that will be hair growth. And then I was like, you know, there's a treatment for alopecia called Litfulu, and I'm not sure if I want to do a treatment like that because it can like lead to infertility. It could cause cancer. There's like all these side effects. It doesn't say like cause cancer, but it's an immunosuppressant. So that's just kind of part of it. So she was like, immediately, yes, I'm getting that you are going to do the treatment. She was like, I don't know if it's like this specific treatment you have in your mind, but I see in the cards, like you are going to get this treatment. And then recently my mom sent me an article about like how Ozempic helps all these autoimmune diseases. And like people are going on Ozempic for like Crohn's or like, and then so I guess there was like an anecdotal thing of someone going on Ozempic with alopecia. And I'm like, is it going to be Ozempic? I'm just like, what's my treatment going to be?
Yeah.
But I liked the idea. I guess going outside of it, I'm like, maybe it's a treatment I don't know about yet.
Yeah, totally.
You know, versus what I thought in my mind.
Yeah.
The other main things were, she was telling me that I'm probably going to have kids around 38. She also was like, I'm sensing relocation ? And I was like, yeah, I was thinking about like maybe moving. And she was like, tell me the like 2 locations you have in mind. And I was like, well, New York or probably LA. And she was like, okay, let's do New York. She was like, immediately, no, not New York. And I was like, what? And she was like, let's do some tarot to find out why. And she was like, yeah, it just says to me like New York is just like not going to bring you the opportunities that you want. And it's just not the right place for you. And you're not going to have the community that you want. And she was like, LA, I see that you go there in about a year, like early spring. And like if you go any earlier than then, I just see the image of dry. Like it's just dry with opportunity, dry with community, dry of like emotion. You're just unhappy. And I was like, okay. And then anyway, at the end, I was like, is there anything I need to be doing to kind of be helping in my progress? And she was like, the 2 things you need to do. She was like, communicate in a way like that are different from your patterns, like having honest conversations where you're not afraid to hold back, and belly dancing. And she was like, your hips are reading to me as so tight, and that there's like all of this trauma in your hips. And
Third energy healer
to say that I have trauma in my hips.
Well, are you up to 4 now with the guy?
Maybe. Wait.
Michael Frontier, Kat Rubio, the new guy, and then
and then my energy bodywork lady Heather.
so 4 different energy healers.
Yes. Told me that my hips.
I think you have to take a belly dancing class.
Well, the guy that I went to who was like a Reiki masseuse, he didn't say hips, but he said that my root chakra, which is in my hips, is bringing up the image of sand, which means uncertainty. Uncertainty, fear, intimidation. So
does your root have to do with fertility too?
That's a good question.
Because that could also be something of like the uncertainty of getting pregnant and the uncertainty of when to get pregnant or want to get. Yeah. So that could be it. Like you might be thinking of like, as your like uterus as being like this sand. It's like, I only have so much time left before I'm like
totally
have to have a kid or want to have a kid or
I love
blah,
that
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Could be something.
I think you're totally right. Yeah. I do have so much uncertainty around it.
Yeah.
I just know that like I'm just definitely not ready this year.
Right.
Not this year, not next year. Sorry, mother-in-law and mother. What are you saying? Sorry to you?
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, I thought you were saying, and also you. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize to me about that.
Anyway. Should we talk about ourselves?
Yeah. What's yours?
Okay. My cell, kind of going into our deep emo vibes of today. A daily intention. When I was meeting with my body energy work lady, Heather, she was doing this somatic breath work with me where it was kind of like I was in a hypnotic state. As you guys can tell, I'm doing a lot of like whatever I can to kind of get my body regulated.
Totally.
And sort of give into the autoimmune disease of figuring myself out. So I was doing this somatic work where it's kind of like meditation, but she leads you into hypnosis and then asks your body things that it needs, or like you ask questions of your body and you kind of have a conversation with your own body and things come up that you like didn't even expect. And so she was like, I want your body, like, I want you to ask your body what it's been feeling lately. And I said, tiredness, exhaustion, even though, you know, like I am getting sleep and I'm doing all these things. And she was like, okay, let's talk about like the ways that your body could feel less tired. And then daily intentions, or like intention in general, came up. And then walking and not being on my phone were the other things. But it's not like I like thought, like I haven't been thinking to myself, I need to have a daily intention or anything like that. It was just interesting that that was the thing. But so I've been doing it like the last week and a half, and I really like it because it kind of gives you a little sort of purpose or umbrella to your day, whether it's like today I just really want to listen and have the intention of like hearing people versus like speaking, or today I really want to believe in myself.
Yeah.
And or it's just like today I really want to move. But it's been a really fun thing to incorporate.
I love that. What was your intention today?
Well,
Get a big fat cock in my mouth.
Well, I didn't come up with an intention for today. My intention was get through the day.
I was like, I didn't do any of my artist way work today.
After the dance class, the night we had, playing soccer.
I mean, this is a miracle we made it through this podcast.
Truly, the fact that we're here, that was the intention. But I wish I'd come up with one.
The week before my birthday, I know I brought you all on my like dental journey. So I decided, I'm not saying I'm like afraid of doctors, but like we were a household that was like, you go to the doctor when you're at death's door. It wasn't like, my family wasn't like, you have the sniffles, we're going to go see what the doctor has to say. It was like, if the sniffles last this amount of days, you have the fever, blah, 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 blah. So I have not, in the way of, you know, the dentistry of it all, have not kept up to date with like getting physicals. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep this momentum going. I'm going to take control of my health, and I'm going to make it so it's like the week before my birthday every year. I'm going to do all of my things. So I had a dermatologist appointment. I got all my moles checked. Everything looks good. None of my freaky moles are a threat to me.
Beautiful.
I went to the OBGYN. I got a pap smear, worse than I remember.
Yeah, pap smears blow.
But everything's good on that end. My vagina is
perfect as always.
Tight.
No complaints.
I broke the Q-tip from the pap smear.
The Q-tip.
I'm just kidding. That's what they use.
They put a little Q-tip in there.
You don't know that?
I didn't know that.
So what do you think was happening?
Had one in a while.
Well, every 5 years.
I think I'm on like year 3.
So from what I understand is going on is, you know, they're cranking open. They're cranking open.
I hate the crank.
They're cranking you. Then they're opening up. They're cranking your cervix, and then they're sticking a Q-tip into your cervix, and
like
that's
a culture
that feeling
swab?
for a culture swab. And that, like, even thinking about it, my stomach turns. Like, I felt like I was gonna throw up / pass out, and it was like it all just happened so fast, and it was like pressure, and I was like, ah! And I was just like, oh my god, like it was just horrible. But that being said, now I don't have to do it for 5 years. Everything else looked amazing. Then I got went and got a physical, and I got blood work done, and everything is like, I'm really healthy.
And as a follow-up to last week's episode, your B12 levels are high.
So you guys were right about about me having a lot of B12. That's why if I take a B12, I feel crazy because I have a natural amount of I have a lot of B12.
Which is a great thing. Most people are low on B12.
So like, even though like I'm a pretty healthy girl.
You really are. No, I always say this. You're the most regulated person I know.
Yeah, and it was nice to just be like, I don't know, because I didn't realize it, but my mom has Hashimoto's, which is like an autoimmune thing, and she was like, make sure you like get a feel for where because thyroid disease like runs in like my mom's family. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, look at the levels on your thyroid, but my thyroid was completely fine.
That's beautiful.
And so it was like, it was nice to just be like, okay, you just hear these freak stories of like, you know, you end up checking something and there's a high level, and like, you just never know, even if you're healthy. So yeah, selling, just going to the doctor, the peace of mind is worth and all of the appointments were so short. Like in my mind, I was like, well, a physical, that's going to take at least an hour and a half. It was like 10 minutes. So yeah, I feel good going into the year of being like, I know about my health, and then I can do it all again in a year from now.
I love that. There's such a good feeling of accomplishment after you do stuff like that.
Totally.
Where you're like, I did it all for myself. I'm an adult. My doctor, it's the same thing. Like I go in there, I tell her all my shit, and then she's like, great. And then she looks at my ears and she's like, more Wellbutrin? And I'm like, sure. And that's the end.
And that's it.
And that's it.
I'm like having period cramps, like as we were talking, like my cramps have just amplified.
Your root chakra's speaking.
Root chakra.
This
was so great.
This was so great.
It's just like crazy because like Shelby's not in the room, so
I
I'm
know.
like, can we wrap it up?
Are we allowed to wrap it up?
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. We're having so much fun with the pod, and we've got episodes coming. We're in the works of just like we have a lot of guests that we're excited to ask and get on. If you guys have anyone that you're like, this person would be so great for the podcast.
Yes, we want to hear from you.
Yes, just a call to open up all communication channels. We love when you guys write in like the comment section of the Spotify thing. Love when you like comment on our Instagram, send us DMs on Instagram. We read all of that stuff. And even if we're not always great at replying, like just know we read that. And like anytime anyone like is resonating with something we say and there's like a comment about it, it's such a special feeling.
Much.
It really does. It makes us feel like we're not just like screaming into the void and that there's actually people listening to us.
It would be so great also to hear from our listeners, because as we're kind of resetting, figuring out what we want to add more of, if there are things you really, really like that we discuss, or like updates that you want from us that maybe we talked about, like for example, me being on Wellbutrin and Zoloft and how that's going, or something along those lines, let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll incorporate that. Or if there's anything that you want to ask us that you want us to cover on the pod, please be our guest. If there's like a C that you really want us to talk about, that would be lovely.
And if you have any criticism, fuck you.
Yeah, criticism isn't part of the 3 C's.
Okay, well, I'm so glad. I can't wait to see what 34 brings me. I'm so glad to be bringing in a new year on the pod.
It truly, I think 34 is going to be so good.
Well, apparently for the stars, the next 8 years are going to be pretty awesome, peaceful.
Thank G. Love
Thank
that.
G.
And
okay.
might I say, you're already glowing as a 34-year-old.
Thanks, babe. I did a it's fake tan.
Oh, it looks good. I think it's from the inside.
Yes.
Well, until next time.
Until next time. Bye.
I can't wait to tell you.
The way they do. Do they do the do they do.